No, there we go. Let's refresh chat. There we are. Still have chat from last night open. I approached my desk and sighed. Why do I have to be so tired? Oh yeah, you and me both, Hiro.
Yeah, Hirono, genki kan?
Kyosuke homed in on me as soon as I sat down. Piss off, go home.
朝一番から帰れるかっての。宮村じゃあるまいし。
I'm too tired for this. Please don't bring her up. Wait a second. You sound like you know Miyamura. He asked if we were going out a while ago, but I thought he was just screwing with me. Hey Beatrice! How's it going?
ん？ああ、まあな。ちょっとありえないくらい可愛いからな。
Hey oddly manifested. Nice to have you around. Hope things are going alright. Elaborate.
いやいや、若さって怖いよな。
What a jerk. Did he go after her as well?
ああ、でも安心しろ。宮村はかなり手強そうだったから、すぐに口説くのは諦めたよ。
Why would that assure me? Instead of answering, Kyosuke simply chuckled. You don't care who you go after as long as it's a girl. Wouldn't it be better if we got you fixed?
お前の言葉に友情を感じられた試しがないよ。
Concern, get real. You must be half asleep.
機嫌悪いな。なんだよ。両手に花で投稿しておいてその態度は。女の子の方に失礼だろ。
Kyosuke. I stood up.
何を切り立ってるんだ？
You saw us, right? You should have said something. With those two, it's only a matter of time until the shit hits the fan.
そう言われても、第三者が入り込める雰囲気じゃなかったぞ。ほら、見てみろ。
He pulled out his camcorder and flipped the screen over.
客観的に見ればわかるだろうが、お前ら自分の世界作っちゃってたぞ。
Kei, Miyako, and myself were displayed on the viewfinder. You bastard, you weren't just spectating, you were filming us?
カメラを構えてる時の俺は、お前の友人の堤京介じゃない。いい絵を見つけたら撮らずにはいられない生粋の映像マンだ。
Are you out of your mind? I snatched the camera from him.
ああ、何するんだ！
You need to be taught a lesson. I'm confiscating the tape.
ちぇ。
What was he thinking, filming us without permission?
でもさ、たまには必要なことだよ。こうして自分を客観視するのは、自分の目だけじゃ見えなかったものが見えてくる。
Deep philosophy there, huh? Stop it with the sophisticated quotes. What wasn't I seeing? It should have been obvious on the viewfinder, but...
俺のカメラを甘く見られちゃ困るね。
He declared this with extreme confidence. I couldn't disagree with him on that. I thought about what Kyosuke said. The camera is an instrument that teaches people how to see without a camera. What did I see? Myself and Miyako. Anyway, it was my free period. I was on the way back from the washroom and thought about heading over to Classroom 2D. This wasn't anything unusual. I knew enough people in there. Well, not exactly. Was I just making an excuse? I had to confirm something. What was it? I walked towards Classroom 2D, ignoring the students around me. I didn't have anything special in mind. Once I was there, I opened the door. I didn't know where she was sitting, but I immediately found her. She was alone, resting her chin on her left hand. Her eyes wandered out the window. I didn't expect her to look so mysterious, so lonely. She looked so natural, daydreaming and basking in the sunshine. She was practically a work of art. Alright. If one of my family members saw this spectacle, they wouldn't be able to resist sketching it. A girl coming out of the classroom eyed me suspiciously. Oh, sorry. I stepped aside. Then I looked inside the classroom once more. Miyako was looking at me. She was speechless, her mouth slightly open. The work of art was now more like a panel of manga. I was still outside the doorway. The distance between us hadn't changed, yet I felt we were closer than before. Our entwined gazes brought about some unknown emotion in my chest. Ooh, unknown emotions. There we go. The period bell sounded its tactless chime. However, Miyako and I kept staring at each other. A tender smile floated to her face. The bleached-out world I once saw now felt like it was exploding into technicolor. I stood up with my almost empty bag in hand. Kyosuke bolted out of the classroom because he had film club. I bet club activities were probably fun for everyone involved. The other classmates put on lively faces because the day was over. As for me, I couldn't act that way. If I went home, I would only have more labor waiting for me. Will the day of freedom ever arrive? Technically, it would be over after my serial ended, but for now, I didn't want that day to come anytime soon. It was time to head home. I walked through the corridor. Random cheering could be heard from outside the window. The sports clubs were always full of energy. I wished they could share some of that energy with me. Oh, right. I stopped walking. This morning was unusual. Kei was acting completely out of the ordinary. When did she start blushing all the time? She never had to because she was upfront about everything. Whatever the case, I did have the unofficial job of being Kei's guardian. Should I go take a look at her? Ooh, choices. Alright. Let's make a little save. Okay. And the choice here should be just go home. Interesting. Kei wasn't a child anymore. It was natural that I always worried about her. However, I had my own issues to deal with. Time to get out of here. Huh? Miyako appeared before me so suddenly that she must have magically teleported there. Miyako? My face flared up and my heart started to race. Of course it did. Why was I so flustered? Oh my god, you're so dense, my dude. She grabbed my arm and started walking up the stairs. Hey, where are we going? She quickened her pace. Oh man, that wind again. Come on, why are we here? I brushed her hand away. It was difficult to keep my eyes open in this tremendous gale. I should have anticipated this weather. Miyako had to continuously hold her hair and skirt in place. She was seeking my approval with upturned eyes. Space! Oh, I can't. This is too good. Hey, enough with the teasing. I'm not that kind of guy. I felt my face flaring up. I'm not your toy. Wait, initially? She ignored my question as expected. I had gotten used to her digressions. What is? I don't follow you at all. She stared directly at me with her eyes opened wide. Like I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. Miyako averted her eyes.
笑うに決まってるのに。
I have a feeling I've only ever seen you smiling. She was occasionally serious, but she usually smiled like an idiot. When I thought about it, it was a little suspicious. The world wasn't simple or easy enough that someone could always smile. Well, I'm alright with that.
うん。
So why did you need me again?
なんて言えばいいのかな。
She acted like she was thinking, but I knew better. It's alright. Don't worry about it. Even if she tried to explain, I didn't think I would understand. So that's everything, right? I'm heading home now. You? She probably wanted to come to my apartment again.
どうもしないよ。今日はお買い物に行くんだもの。あ、ついてきちゃダメだよ。女の子の秘密の買い物があるんだから。
I wasn't planning on joining you in the first place.
うん。聞き分けがいい子は好きだよ。
Miyako smiled. She talked down to everyone around her. Still, I saw something. Her smile was brimming with it. It felt as though she had regained something that was once lost. To begin, I lightly penciled in the outline of the body. The lines were somewhat thin. Oil from my hands could have rubbed them out. Then I drew the nose, mouth, eyebrows, and all the other parts of the face. Little by little, through this labor of love, my character appeared on the page. Yet, I could no longer remember my elation. Planning the story and drawing all the pages had long since become a chore. I used to enjoy the entire process of creating a manga. When did I start drawing with such dampened feelings? Various things had piled up, each one weakening my will to move my pencil. Whatever. My editor was going to suggest taking it easy again. What did he know? I focused my strength into my hand, intending to disprove him. Anyway, it was about time. Bingo. Mr. Omura never missed a day calling me, even if there wasn't urgent business. These daily phone calls had become quite irritating. However, they were also the reason I could finish everything by the deadline. Hello?
もしもし。
Ah. What I heard was not the old man's raspy voice. I pulled my cell phone from my ear and looked at the screen. The call originated from a payphone. Who is this?
私だけど。
Yeah. Miyako? It was rare to get calls from unknown sources, so I had wondered about the identity of the mystery caller.
うん。ヒロノくん、今何してる？
Working, obviously.
ちょっとお願いしたいことがあるの。聞いてくれる？
Sure. You don't sound so well. What's wrong? She was breathing lightly on the other end of the phone.
あのね、隣町に買い物に行ってたんだけど。
Okay. She did mention it on the roof.
それでね、帰ってくる途中で、
Why was she hesitating? Don't worry, whatever it is, I'll listen. I spoke in such a soft tone that I surprised myself. My attitude around others had always been stern, even with Kay.
電車でね、
Yeah?
痴漢に遭っちゃったの。
I couldn't make a clever comeback after hearing that. That's awful.
すっごいムカつく。私の許可も得ずに勝手に触るなんて。
Did you catch him?
できるわけないよ、そんなの。男の人にはわからないだろうけど、めちゃくちゃ怖いんだからね。
I see. But what can I do?
迎えに来て。今、音羽の駅だから。
Say what? How was the story about the molester connected to meeting her outside?
怖いの。
Huh?
一人で帰るの怖いの。だから迎えに来て。
He is so dense, Jesus Christ. Wasn't this selfishness? Wait, why did you call me of all people? She knew I was busy. I mean, if it's just for safety reasons, then it doesn't have to be me.
なんで？
Huh?
私はヒロノ君にお願いしてるのに、どうしてそういうこと言うの？
Go out and see Miyako, work comes first. We know what the choice is, though. Even without a guide, this one is very common sense. We go and help the girl. Jesus Christ, you dense bastard hero. I went to meet her, unable to refuse her request like the idiot I was. She was there.
だいぶ風も収まってきたね。今日は髪の毛ぐちゃぐちゃになるし、目は痛いしで大変だったよ。
Where was her meekness from before? She seemed to be simply enjoying herself. Could her fear have been a hoax meant to tease me as usual?
もしかしてヒロノ君、怒ってる？
Miyako had stopped walking. Don't think this means I'll answer your every beck and call. You got lucky.
呼べば来ると思ってた。
Give me a break.
ヒロノ君ゴーって叫ぶとプールの水が割れて、そこからゆっくりと姿を。
When did I become a Pokemon? Besides, that was so out of date. Never mind, let's just go. Despite what I said, she didn't seem ready to leave yet. She looked serious. What happened to that playful exterior? You okay?
ヒロノ君、晩ご飯はまだ？
Not yet.
お礼に今日も晩ご飯作るから、商店街に寄って買い物していこう。
In other words, she was coming to my apartment again. Then I would have to walk her home. It was bothersome, but Miyako's food was excellent. I'm honored. What will you be making? Good, that's the right reply.
シーフードカレーとかどうかな？ちょっと時間かかっちゃうけど。
I've never had it before. Is it any good?
おいしいよ。エビとイカとホタテ、それに白身のお魚を入れるの。あまり長く煮込まないのがコツなんだよ。
That sounds so interesting. I've never had it. I've only made curry with chicken, and I think I made it once with beef too. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Her face was lit up. That sounds great. You really like fish, huh?
大好き。でも魚の方は私を愛してくれないんだよね。
It would be kind of odd if they did. Fish didn't have any feelings.
困るかな。
If it were me, I'd want my partner to at least be a human.
ケイちゃんならもっといい？
Come on, don't start that up here. I turned my back on Miyako and began walking. She brought up the one subject I didn't want to discuss at the moment. If she didn't want to follow me because of that, fine.
ヒロ君。
Hiro-kun? That was new. Yes. I stopped walking. It was my soft side.
で、つなごうか。
Mm. She's just terrified. She just doesn't want to be alone. Like, it's not that difficult to put one and one together, man. I thought about it for a moment. No way. But you thought about it.
諦める。でも、照れてるだけなら、いいじゃん。つなごうよ。本当に怖かったんだもん。自分でも弱いなぁと思うけど、ああいうの何度経験しても慣れないんだよ。
Just how many times had this happened to her? It wasn't unreasonable that she was frequently targeted. She was quite an attractive girl after all.
こういう時はね、私みたいにいつも一人でふわふわしてるやつでも欲しくなるんだよ。
What do you mean by that?
一人じゃないって思わせてくれる人。
Women really are sly. No, just Miyako. Bah, there you go, speaking gibberish again. A spiteful response to hide my embarrassment. I swooped in and grabbed her hand. Oh, this is so pretty. Hey, why are you spacing out? I needed a reaction, anything at all, or I was going to die of embarrassment.
だって本当に繋いでくれると思わなかったから。
I'll let go.
ダメダメ。話したら一生恨んでやる。
She latched onto my arm. No point in trying to shake her off now. Without even realizing it, I was swept away by her whimsy. That's how it always was. What was I looking for? What was I missing? There was something I desired, something on this long, hectic journey. I had forgotten what it was.
そして、あなたは今、忘れていたものを思い出そうとしている。最も大事なことが何なのか、理解しようとしているんですね。
Probably. The woman in my dream appeared again. An unexpected reunion, but I wasn't too surprised. It was natural that she'd be here.
でも、何かを取り戻すのと同時に、失おうとしているものがあります。そうでしょ？
I have nothing to lose. The woman gave a slightly troubled smile.
あなたはいつも前ばかり見ていたから。だから気づかないんですね。それが悪いとは言いませんけど。
Huh, even if it was, I can't exactly turn back the clock. I chose this path long ago.
いいえ、まだですよ。あなたはまだ知らないから。自分の心を、彼女たちの本当の気持ちを。
What girls?
それも、分かっているはずですよ。
Her soft tone was persuading.
きっとあなたには、これから辛いことが待っています。それは、とてもとても辛いことです。それは、とてもとても辛いことです。涙も枯れてしまうほどに辛くて、逃げ出したくなるかもしれません。
What's with you? Are you threatening me? Oh, my plushies. I sometimes streamed with them. They're bird plushies. I have some parrots and puffins and stuff. I can like rotate them again and like stream with them. Like, maybe let me move a little bit just to. Does this make them more visible? Yeah. Maybe this. For now. There you are. Oh, and a little sea lion as well. A seal. What am I saying? Yeah, it's a fluffy baby one. There we are. What's with you? Are you threatening me? Predicting such a grim future was unnerving.
いいえ、大丈夫です
You
よ。
are most welcome.
大丈夫なはずです。
I'm kind of covering them, aren't I?
あなたはもう
Don't intend
ぬ
to.
くもりを知っていますから。優しさに触れた記憶があれば、あなたは間違わずにいられます。きっとです。
What a surprise. Kay was at the door.
おはよ
Yeah, morning. I rested my chin on my hands. My work was out on the desk, but I didn't care if she saw it. It was natural to have her around. You could say that she was the most trustworthy person I knew. She had always been the one closest to me.
今日は珍しく早起き？それとも寝てないの？
A bit drowsy, but I woke up from this really weird dream.
夢か。どっちにしても、こんな時間にお兄ちゃんが目を開けてるのは奇跡だわ。明日は雨かも。
Can't you think of anything better to say?
悪かったわね。どうせ芸なんてないわよ。運動以外に何も取り柄ないしね。
Too bad, so sad. Kay pouted and looked at the other way. Don't go sulking on me. I scratched my head. So what about morning practice?
朝練行く前にちょっと寄ってみただけよ。カレーみたいな匂いがするわね。
Your powers of deduction have not led you astray. It's in the fridge. Kay opened the refrigerator. She closed the door and nodded. Then she came to me. Yeah, what?
隣座っていい？
Practice calls. Instead of answering, she pulled over a chair and sat next to me.
原稿は進んでるの？
I'd be sleeping better if it were. She picked up a page of my work.
なるほど。今回も危なそうね。ん？
Her voice seemed dubious. What?
いつもと線が違うような気がするんだけど。
Do you even understand how I draw?
お兄ちゃんの絵ならね、もう何年も見てるんだから違ってればわかるわよ。
Well, you're wrong. I didn't do anything different this time.
そうかな。
She was unconvinced, but she set the page down without saying anything else. She usually didn't notice little details like that. Her head seemed to be screwed in this time, though.
昔は
Yeah?
昔はよくこうしてたわよね。
She shifted her head down. I managed to catch a whiff of her perfume. Years ago, we used to have these sessions in her room. We sat side by side in near silence, spellbound by her manga collection. But did she smell so nice back then? I noticed her beveled eyes on her delicate face. Her lips were a bit shinier. They had been dry lately, so she was probably applying lip balm. Upon closer inspection, her lips appeared very soft. Are there pictures of them on your Discord? I have... Wait. I posted a picture at some point. No, and also no worry for the distracting. Sorry that I saw it late. I should have a photo on my Twitter. Let me just quickly... I don't tweet much, so... Well, I don't think we have those VODs up just yet, Beatrice. But yeah, some Kleinert streams have me with the burps. Just give me a little bit. I don't really tweet much, so I should be able to find it fast. I think. Yes, there it is. There's everybody. And also, is it the same color? No, it's a different, it's a lighter blue. The light, but it's alright. You will get the gist of it. Hopefully. There we go. Alrighty. I blinked as hard as I could to drive away my ridiculous thoughts. Kay wasn't like that. Wasn't like what?
でも今じゃお兄ちゃんは読む側から書く側になっちゃったし、私も部活ばっかりでほとんど漫画を読まなくなったわ。
What, are you dying or something? What?
なんで私がこの若さで散らなきゃいけないのよ。
What question is that? Yeah, they're adorable, aren't they? I love burps. And so I've gotten plushies as gifts. You're reminiscing like one of those old farts. Kate wasn't the type of person to talk about the past in the first place.
別にそんなのじゃないわよ。
The tension suddenly vanished.
ただ、やっぱり私もお兄ちゃんもすっかり変わったんだなって。あの頃とは違うのよね。
No duh. Except your height and bust haven't changed at all. No, don't say that! I took a clean headbutt to the jaw. You bitch, normal girls don't do that.
あいにくと、私はあまり普通じゃございませんので。
What a declaration. No, it's alright. I actually have had pet birds. I just don't have them. I had them while I was still living with my parents, and my mom still has a little budgie. But yeah, right now I'm not in the house is not proper for pets. It's too tiny. There wouldn't be proper space. We're living in just one room apartment. But we will be moving in the upcoming months sometime when the apartment that we reserved is ready. And then there might be a conversation about pets, but at the same time, my boyfriend is a big cat fan, so I don't know if a bird is going to be the pet to go. But I do get to interact with the budgie when I go visit my parents, so yeah. First time I got a pet bird, I was 11? Yeah, 11. So it's been 21 years of having birds? Oh my god. Okay. That's a lot of time. Yeah. You sure about that?
そうよ。私は普通じゃない。こんな小さい体でバスケやろうなんて普通は思わないでしょうね。でも、お兄ちゃんも同じよね。男のくせに少女漫画家。それも連載まで持っちゃって。もう引き返せないところまで来てる。
Anything else? She startled me with an unusually innocent smile.
私たちは兄弟じゃないけど、やっぱり少し似てるかなって思っただけ。無理なことを無理だと分かっててやっ
Hey,
ちゃ
Game
うところとか。
Fixer! How you doing? Hope you're feeling better. Your point being?
まともじゃお兄ちゃんと付き合ってられないわ。
Kay stood up after that blunt statement. I used to think that the people around me were indirect, but maybe not.
そうよ。無理だとしても諦めるわけにはいかないの。悪いけど年季が違うんだから。
I couldn't understand what she said. For some reason, she was displaying bravado.
開き直った人間ってのは強いよな。
Kyosuke popped out of nowhere as soon as I took my seat. Seems to be a trend at this school, damned if I know why.
そんな学校通いたくないな。
Kyosuke grimaced. I rolled my eyes.
いや、そうじゃなくてさ、英検の連中頭固いんだよな。当たり前のどこの英検でもやってるようなことしか思いつかない。結局ほとんどの人間は枠から外れたことができないんだよな。そのくせ意見に根拠なんかなくて、ありふれたネタで何が悪いとか言うし、まったく困ったもんだよ。
Telling me won't help.
それを黙って聞いてくれるのが友情ってもんだろ。って寝るなよ。
I reluctantly lifted up my head. If I can shut up, then I can also sleep.
全然違うよ。寝てるやつに延々話しかけてたら、俺はただの危ない人じゃん。
All the girls already think you're creepy, man. Sleep or not, I wouldn't be interrupting him.
人を変質者かレイプキラーみたいに言わないでくれるか。
Sorry.
だいたい今この学園で女の敵と言ったら真っ先にお前の名前が上がってくると思うよ。
Why me?
あれ知らなかったのか？
Kyosuke cleared his throat. Oh no, what's happening? What? Out with it. I was anxious.
簡単に言うと、ヒロのヒロ、新藤圭、宮村都の三角関係の行方はって感じで、結構学園では話題になってるよ。
Yeah, he's not even aware he's part of it, so I don't know. I feel like you're barking up the wrong tree here. Huh? See?
つまりな。
Clueless. Kyosuke began his explanation. He said he said that all the people at school figured Kei and I to be a couple. It was an easy mistake to make. We used to hang out all the time. Then he talked about sightings of me with Miyako.
要するに、お前は二股かけてる最低男。
Ouch! Rumors abound, huh? I thought the school had more integrity than that. My head was starting to hurt.
新藤さんは1年でバスケ部のレギュラー取った逸材で、学年性別を問わずに人気高いし、宮村はあの通りの可愛さだし。お前はサボり常習犯で有名だもんな。
My reputation was quite a contrast.
この組み合わせなら、うちみたいな学校でも噂にだってなるよ。いくら進学校つっても、通ってるのは年頃の男女なんだし。
I see. I didn't really care what anyone thought of me, but being made into a spectacle was a bit too much.
さらに付け加えると、こんなもんまであるぞ。
Yeah? Kyosuke took a piece of paper out of his pocket. When he handed it to me... The hell is this? Hiro Hirono and Kei Shindo. Hiro Hirono and Miyako Miyamura. He will reject both of them. The girls were engaged in forbidden love. Long shot. There were names and numbers written all over it. Okay, buddy, what is this? I was trying to remain calm if such a thing were possible.
見ての通り、お前ら3人の恋の行方の予想。一番人気はお前と新藤さんのカップリング。
Cats are so superior, it's unfair. Yeah, you and Madcats are on the same wavelength then. But yeah, having a bird is also a really big joy. Although at the same time, they are viewed as exotic pets and there aren't that many veterinarians who know how to take care of them. And unfortunately, I've had budgies pass away in the past because they would get some sort of indigestion or something. I don't know exactly what went wrong, even though we took great care of their food and their water and everything. And we did take them to veterinarians and they gave them like some pills and stuff and things and vitamins, special things to take and eat. They're so fragile. It didn't really help much, and in the end they did pass away. So that's one like downside. Whereas if it's a cat, it's easier in a sense. Like they know what to do. There's already like plenty of things, medicine and equipment and things to help a cat if there are any issues. So that's also one of the reasons why I'm a bit hesitant. Yeah. I've lost pets. The one that lived the longest was like 13-14 years. Bless her heart. And she didn't pass away because she was necessarily sick. She was just old, I guess. That's old for a budgie to be like 13-14 years old. Jesus. Yeah. It is what it is. It happens. Like I said, they're fragile. So that might be also one of the reasons why I might be hesitating to, because I also wanted ever since I was like a teenager, and I was thinking maybe I could get like a bit of a bigger one, right? A parakeet or something, because they're really beautiful, and if they bond with you, it's an awesome connection there to have. It's just I don't know. I would be so scared out of my mind if it got sick and I couldn't help it. I would feel very guilty at the same time as well. But also, if you put it like in a different perspective, they are still like the parakeet itself would still go to some family, right? And who knows what kind of family that might be. There are people who just take birds and just keep them in cages. Right, I would let it fly around and take all necessary precautions to have like nets in the window so that it doesn't fly out and so on, and be careful. And I'm trained in this since I've had birds for this large chunk of my life, so that wouldn't be an issue. It would fly around or have its space. It would have like everything. I would do my best to give it a nice and safe and happy life. But I don't know. It's conflicting in a way, yeah. Are there pictures of them? Oh, I do have some pictures, but they're scattered around. If you look in Discord in IRL photos, but that was like a while ago, you might have to like scroll up. There is a photo somewhere of the most recent two budgie pair that my mom got. Unfortunately, one of them passed away. It was a girl, and she had an egg go down a bad route, and yeah, unfortunately she passed away, but the boy still remains, and it's the one we still have to this day. Where is it? It's really up there. Let me see. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay, I'm getting closer, I promise. I'm just a couple months away from it. Man, we shared a bunch of stuff in that channel. That channel is just full of good memories, isn't it? Oh wait, it's not in IRL. I'm stupid. It's in Emergency Cuteness. I was looking in the wrong channel, but I got around to good date. There it is. Oh, and I have an even more recent one of my little baby. There's one. There they are. There we go. This was the two of them when they were little babies. There we go. Cuteness shared. Done. The most popular choice is him ending up with K. Oh, interesting. Doesn't anyone at the school have better things to do?
だから所詮はみんな恋愛に興味があるお年頃なんだって。
Whatever. Just then it hit me. Wait a minute. Why are you the one with the list?
それは
Because he made it and circulated it around? His reply was distressed. You're the one who started all this?
しまった。ついお前の反応が面白そうだったから。そうだよ、当事者に見せちゃダメじゃんか。
Fuck you. He was a total retard. So now you're collecting bets?
そうとも言う。
Push it. Kyosuke shrugged his shoulders.
いやいや、映画の制作には金がかかるんだよ。部費だけじゃ到底賄いきれなくて。
You could have started a rumor about one of your other members.
これが映画に取り憑かれた人間の末路か。
Scholars of film. You're a real dick, you know that? I had attended Ottawa Collegiate for nearly 2 years, but only now did I learn of such student conduct. There weren't any decent people at this school. Well, that's a bit of a far-fetched conclusion to draw. Hey, Mizuki! Oh, she's so cute. I love her uniform. Always late to the party? It's alright, Clinton. You're always welcome, though. How you doing? Mizuki's peeping hot... sorry. Usually it's peeping hot. Mizuki's peeping voice echoed through the empty gym. What a surprise. Her face relaxed. If one were to ask why Hayama was here, it could only be that she came to see Kei. Classes were still in session. I was in the middle of skipping class and ran into her as I was heading out. Hate to inform you, but this school has high standards. Oh, Beatrice, they're so kind. I appreciate it. Oh, that makes me feel so warm and fuzzy. It's so cute. We'll see, okay? We'll see. First things first, we need to get the house and get things settled, and then we'll have another discussion about, you know. My hair is stuck to my hand. About what to do with pets and what it will be. We'll see. I like cats too. Like, I like cats a lot. Before I had birds, I thought I was a cat person, and then I realized, nope, I'm a bird person, but I still like cats very much. So, we'll see. Whatever the pet will be, it will be loved and taken care of to the best of my abilities. So, that is that. She was awfully insolent for someone younger than me. There are better schools to choose from.
ヒロ先輩が歪んでるからそういう受け取り方しかできないんです。先輩方は皆さん楽しそうですし、それに知ってます？この学園の卒業生って有名人が結構いるんですよ。
Such as? I was a manga artist, so maybe I qualified? But that was beside the point.
私が具体的な名前を知ってるわけないですよ。ヒロ先輩は在校生のくせに知らないんですか？
Hey, watch your mouth. Keisha has been rubbing off on you.
K 先輩にまた怒られちゃいますよ。
She seemed happy for some reason.
ヒロ先輩が授業をサボらないように教育してるけど、言うこと聞かなくて困るってぼやいてましたから。
Who did Kay think she was? That's just her. She's always angry.
はあ、それもそうですね。
Definitely. Must be exhausting.
で、K 先輩は優しい人ですよ。ヒロ先輩が怒らせるようなことするのが悪いんです。
It's not my fault. She's a monster. I know everything about her.
心も体も知り尽くしてるってことですか？とっくに二人で大人の階段登っちゃってるんですか？
Yeah, I would also like try not to drop my cat or hurt it in any way. Ah! Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I promise you, no Nezumi cat or bird is getting hurt in that triangle. Whatever the outcome will be, it will be one full of love and happiness for all parties involved. I promise. I guess it's the only kind of triangle who can get resolved like that. You became adults together? Oh my lord, Mizuki.
そんなのやだー。
I'm not paired up with her. Stop being so dumb.
K 先輩が嫌いなんですか？ものすごく許せないです。
What the hell are you going on about? Whatever redeeming qualities Hayama had were gone in an instant. Look, I gotta run. If you have a message for her, I'll pass it along.
別に改まった話があるわけじゃないんですよ。
What did you come here for then? Sorry, Mizuki groaned and shook her head.
実は昨日もこっちに来たんですよ。香港の先輩たちとの合同練習だったんですけど、 K 先輩がすごかったんですよ。
You mean intense?
とても。あんまり激しすぎて、私なんかもう失神しそうでした。
Did I have to hear about this?
本当は今日は楽しみにしてた新刊の発売日なんですけど、それもスルーしてきたんです。
So she had planned to skip in order to get her manga fix.
気になるんですよ、 K 先輩が。
Oh, Kay would have been happy. She was higher up on the caring scale than a manga.
昨日は危機迫ってたというか、練習が終わった後はなぜかさっぱりした顔になってたりで。
That's strange.
確かにそれはあります。で、なんてこと言うんですか。不気味なんて K 先輩から最も縁遠い言葉じゃないですか。
Maybe it's fair to say that she's like you then. There's the bell.
ヒロ先輩、本当に授業サボっちゃってよかったんですか？
Not really. It'll lead to more remedial later.
やばいじゃないですか。ただでさえヒロ先輩の人生って先が暗そうなのに、留年なんて前科がついちゃったら、それはもう大変で、住所不定無職っぽい人になりそうな。
I trust that you won't mention this to Kay. Skipping happened often, but I felt like I was simply wasting my time in school. The bell signaled the end of the day. It was about time to go home and work.
ヒロ先輩、
Yeah? Her expression became deliberate.
K 先輩はいつでも一生懸命なんです。部活はもちろんですし、ヒロ先輩のことだって本気で心配してるんですよ。そのことを。
A bird bigger than a cat? Oh, I think that would be too big. I wouldn't have the space to give it, you know, the proper kind of life it deserves. No. I was just thinking a little bit bigger than a budgie, but not that big. What kind of pets do you keep? Now I'm curious. And Clinton with the suggestions. That's a little bit too much. Didn't I say I know all about her? She never knows when to quit. I'll try not to do anything that will cause her to spaz out.
ヒロ先輩に心配されるほど K 先輩は落ちてないですけどね。
So, what was the point of all this?
それはもちろん。
2年 B 組の広野博君、2年 D 組の宮村美也子さん、直ちに進路指導室
Oh
まで来
god,
てく
what's
ださい。
happening?
繰り返します。2年 B 組の広野博君、
To
2年
bunny
D
is.
組の宮村美也子さん、
Oh,
直ちに
that's
進路
so
指導室まで来てください。
oh. I watch Sweet Anita sometimes, and she has bunnies, and she shows them on stream. She has even a bunny cam and stuff, and it's just like, I'm just melting. They're so fluffy and chunky. Oh, so cute.
いよいよ大学ですか。
Man, don't jinx me. Don't get all upset.
あ
Why the guidance office? They probably did not submit their career survey sheets, whatever it's called. They'd have called me to the principal's office if it were about my skipping. I didn't think anyone from guidance had the power to expel me, but stranger things have happened. And why did they also call Miyako?
なんで呼び出し食らうのかさっぱりだったけど、意外な展開だったね。
We left the guidance office and started walking down the hallway. Miyako sighed. They overreacted.
ああ、そうそう。完全に呆れちゃってたね、あの先生。
Miyako was suddenly cheerful. Well, I don't care. Both Miyako and I had one thing in common. Neither of us had turned in the career surveys that we were given a while back. You were a total bitch to them.
そうかな。どっちもどっちだよ。
When the teacher asked about my career survey, I said, I forgot about it. Oh man, that's bad. Miyako said,
よし、捨てちゃいました。
Yeah, my excuse wasn't great, but the way she worded hers?
たまに真面目に最後まで授業を受けてみたら、最後にこんな仕打ちが待ってるなんて。私、何も悪いことなんてしてないのに、どうしてこんなに運が悪いんだろう。
Maybe it was time for a serious reply. I stopped walking. Miyako looked at me. That teacher didn't say you could ignore it.
ん？
He said you were a top student, so you could do anything you want if you fix that attitude of yours.
ああ、
Miyako winked.
どうでもいいじゃん、そんなこと。
Traitor. You said we were the same, but you're the opposite of failure.
そういうヒロ君は本当におバカさんなんだよね。
Hey, Miyako, a top student? Looks can be deceiving. They got me at least.
はあ、疲れちゃった。
Miyako stretched her arms.
ね
Yeah?
え、ちょっと気分転換したいな。行こ
Where are we going this time?
いところ。
Miyako teased me with her smile. The roof again?
いいところじゃん。少なくとも私は学園ではここが一番好き。もしかして何か違うこと期待した？
She looked at me intently. Maybe?
いつものごとくひねくれた反応だね。でもさ、どうするの？
What do you mean? This was your idea. She was being vague as always.
進路志望？明日までに提出って言われたじゃん。
Yeah. I didn't really care about that though. We can just write something random. They can complain if we tell them we want to enter university or something.
進学するの？
I mean, they will start pestering you like, how are you gonna attend university when you're barely passing high school? Like, you are not, like, top candidate material. Exactly. So they will start pestering you about that. She looked a little surprised. I said it was random. Do they really expect a serious answer in under 24 hours? I don't have to pick the career I write down. So what are you writing?
見えない明日に迷うお年頃なのです。
Maybe I should just push her off the roof. Oh my god, no.
うお、ヒロ君の顔が修羅のように、ヤサのように。
Are you mental? Why can't you just give a direct answer?
私は不治の病に侵された発光の微笑。
I stepped closer to her as my patience diminished.
わかんないから見てって書いて提出するよ。
She answered in panic, sensing danger. I sighed. They won't accept that answer. They'll probably call your parents if you write that.
うちの親は呼び出されたからってホイホイ来るような人じゃないからね。
Too busy with work?
うちの親ってば離婚しちゃってるから。今はパパと二人でひっそり暮らしてるの。泣きながら。
Wait, crying? I didn't get it.
軽い冗談なのに。
It's not very funny though. With you, I can't figure out what's a joke and what's not. So her folks split up. It wasn't exactly unheard of. Miyako didn't seem to be too concerned about it. What does your dad do?
どっかの建設会社に勤めてるみたい。
Oh.
結構偉いみたいだよ。あまりよく知らないけど、町の復興計画の時に悪どいこといろいろやって重役までのし上がったんだってさ。
I see. I hadn't asked for such an extensive explanation. Miyako knew much about the rejuvenation project though, so her father had to be a big shot.
あんまり家に帰ってこないんだよね。それくらい忙しいみたいだから、呼んだってすぐには来ないと思う。ヒロ君よりだいぶ不便な感じの人なんだよ。
Not like my life is that much easier.
違う。
She stopped herself. What?
不思議なんだけど、どうして漫画家って書かないの？
She was changing the subject. I thought I was going somewhere, but whatever. If I wrote that, the teachers would go ballistic. They'd never accept it. They think drawing manga is a dead-end job, and that school is a better option. My parents would be contacted. Ottawa Collegiate as a whole was particularly concerned with sending all students to higher education.
別に学校に認めてもらう必要なんてないと思うけど。
That's not how it works. We're always trapped by school or our families, so no one ever gets to decide anything for themselves. Miyako agreed with me.
ヒロ君とこの家族って？お姉さんがいるっていうのは前に聞いたけど。
Stretch. My dad is more of a traditional artist. He thinks manga is vulgar.
それが一人暮らししてる理由なの？
She looked somewhat surprised. That's not the only reason. If I told him about my plans, he'd end up in a rage again. It's a real pain. I didn't hate him. Actually, I respected his artistic ability. I was able to become a manga artist because of him, even though my storytelling ability needed improvement. That was why I couldn't hold a grudge against him. At least, that was the reason in theory.
いろいろ大変みたいだね。
He didn't teach me to draw so that I could become a manga artist. I can see where he's coming from.
お父さんの方はヒロ君の気持ちを分かってくれない？
Sorry, not really, so I left.
だけどヒロ君は吹っ切れてないんだね。今でもお父さんの反応が気になってる。
Probably.
おや？珍しく素直。
Miyako seemed relieved, offering a happy expression. But it was probably a facade like everything else about her.
ヒロ君は本当に何でもかんでも背負い込んじゃってるね。
A sudden gust of wind blew by us. The clouds calmly drifted over us and the sky was dyed red. What in the world were we doing in a place like this? I had heaps of work to do and I had so many decisions to make. Despite all of that, I was only thinking about how I wanted to be with Miyako. The feeling of her beside me was a sensation that couldn't be replaced. Why?
お兄ちゃん、
Kei's face passed through my mind for an instant. Maybe Miyako was right.
ね
I turned to meet her quiet voice.
どこかに行こうか。
Now?
前の話の続きだよ。
Sequel?
自転車の弁償の代わりに私がお金出すから何かして遊ぼうっていう話。
You still remember that? I had completely forgotten about it.
お小遣いだけはたっぷりもらってるから自転車じゃ行けないくらい遠くまで行けるよ。
Miyako pointed up at the sky.
どこでもいいから遠いところ。贅沢は言わないから私たちにうるさく文句を言う人たちがいないならどこでもいいな。
I bet the wind would be even colder. She giggled.
私いいところ知ってるよ。今度こそ本当にいいところ。ずっと遠くだし楽しいことばかりじゃないだろうけど、でも結構面白いと思うよ。そこに行ったらヒロ君がどんな顔するか本当に面白そう。
What was she imagining? Did I want to know or not? Ah. I reflexively scratched my head.
どうしたの？壊れちゃったの？病院行く？
Stop suggesting all these funny ideas, damn it. They're taking a toll on me.
変だよヒロ君。
How am I weird? Miyako was nonchalant.
だって少女漫画描いたり漫画描きながら学校通ったりいっぱい面倒抱えて無茶ばっかりしてるのに逃げることはできないの？ああ、そうか。逃げるっていうのが一番簡単なようで一番難しいのかな。そうか、そういう考えもあるか。
What was she answering her own questions for? Averting my eyes from Miyako, who was lost in thought, I looked down at the scenery of the city spread out before me. If I could, I would. I'm rather intrigued by this special place you mentioned. But it's not that easy. I can't just set my current life aside. Too many responsibilities, too many people to deal with. School, family, friends, a high-pitched barking girl, and that strange woman at the church. There was also Kei. And Miyako's face suddenly appeared before my eyes. Okay. Hello. Then our lips met. They separated for just a second before she upped the ante. Our teeth grazed each other, but our mouths didn't separate. Before I knew it, Miyako was caressing my back. All I could think of was how soft her lips were. How long were we kissing? Finally, we parted from each other. Her flushed face was inches away from mine. This was awkward. GG, yes. It felt great, but why was this happening? Oh my
何か
god,
喋ってよ。
Dude, just how dense can you be? Ah. Also, the fact that he's more focused on the artistic part of his manga and not the story that much kind of explains a little bit why he is not that knowledgeable or, you know, that aware of things when it comes to romance. But dude, this is like next level. Just you say something.
私か。
She ran a finger over her lips.
やっぱり黙るしかないよねとか思ってたりしてる間は喋れないもんね。
Yeah. I supposed it was just like when you were eating or sleeping. Talking while you were kissing was impossible.
あのね。
Why are they dissecting the possibility? Oh my god.
何かね、急にしたくなっちゃって、
So you just kiss people for the hell of it? Why was I running my mouth now, of all times? While I was at it, what was with this heartbeat?
ヒロ君はね、たまにリセットしなくちゃいけないって思ったんだよ。
What?
何も考えなくて済む時間っていうか、頭を一度空っぽにしなきゃいけないって。どうかな。
How should I know? I tried to turn away, but I couldn't keep my eyes off her blushing face.
でも一つ誤算がありました。
What was that? I expected a silly answer, but I went ahead and asked.
私の方の頭が真っ白になってしまいました。
Well, aren't you sly?
何が？
I took hold of her hand. She was right. All my worries flew off to another dimension. How was she able to do something like that? Miyako. Miyako was bewildered from hearing her name.
ヒロ君は今のがファーストキスかな。
She was becoming flustered. It was.
遅いよねとか言ってる私も初めてだったりするけど、
Miyako squeezed her hand.
だけどあれだよね、初めて同士とは思えない長さだったな。何分くらいしてたんだろう。ちょっと変だよ私たち。
Want to try to set a new record? There he goes. Miyako's lips were right next to me. My desire to taste them again had reached the point where I could hardly restrain myself. However, she shook her head. She shook it many times.
ダメだよそんなの。だって私。
She stopped and looked at the ground. I wondered why. Her eyes were glazed, threatening to overflow at any second. Pigeons! Yes.
しゃがみ込んだ私の前で鳩たちが争うようにしてパンくずをついばんでいる。いっぱいあるんだから取り合わなくてもいいのに。パッパ。朝食として買ってきた菓子パンを小さくちぎって鳩たちの前に投げる。パタパタとさらに他の鳩たちが寄ってくる。おお、壮絶なバトルロワイヤルが。
何がおうですか？
Pigeons are so cute, yes, they're adorable.
これが野生の掟なんだろうね。後ろから聞こえた声に振り向かずに言って。
We have like this little promenade place really close to us, and there's like a whole bunch of them there, and they like flock together and fly around or like get around on the. There's like a water. What's it called? It's the spring. No, it's not a sprinkler. It's a place where you can like get some water if you want to, and they're like surrounding it or and on the benches. And if someone brings food, there are some people who like regularly bring them like grains and stuff to eat. Man, it's such a spectacle. It's so fun. It's adorable. Yeah.
残りのパンを鳩たちに恵んでやってから立ち上がる。いつものことながら暇そうだよね、優子。優子はふっと微笑みを浮かべた。
そのセリフはそっくりそのままお返ししますよ。なんでリストラされて行き場をなくしたおじさんみたいなことしてるんですか、あなたは。
今時そんなステレオタイプなことしてるおじさんいるのかな。優子って時々発想が古いよね。実は結構年いってたりする？
あ、ちょっと傷つきました。
Sorry.
いやいや、本当にちょっと怒ってるみたい。
Sometimes I overscroll and I skip lines.
図星だったのかな。
それはそうと、学校はどうしたんですかっ
Yeah, yeah.
て愚問でしょうか。
That's a different anime collection.
あ、そうだ。優子、これどう思う？私はカバンから1枚の紙を取り出して優子に渡す。
進路志望アンケート？
今日中にこれ出さなきゃいけないんだけど、なんて書いたものか。
意外ですね。
優子は紙に目を落としたまま言った。意外って？
あなたなら適当に書くか、それとも出さないかのどちらかだと思ったので。
心境の変化というやつなんだよ。うさんくさそうな顔されてる。
それはいいですけど。私に聞かれても困りますね。私は教師じゃないですし、あなたの母親でもないですから。ママと。
抱きつこうとした私を優子はひらりと身を翻して避けた。
Ah, that's cute. Aww.
私たちの足元にいた鳩たちがバッと飛び上がる。避けるなんてひどい。
誰がママですか？殺しますよ。
怖い。
Yuko's face.
案外さっき年いってるって言われたのを根に持ってるのかも。まあ冗談はこれくらいにしとこうか。
私はそれほど冗談のつもりはないんですが。
優子が進路志望アンケートを戻してくる。こんなのは本当はどうでもいいんだけどね。私はアンケートをビリビリと破る。
いいんですか？
ただのアンケートだもん。出さなかったら留年するとか退学するとかいうものじゃないから。
そうですね。あなたは一回痛い目に遭うのもいいでしょうから。
きついね優子。言いたいことを言ってくれるのが優子のいいところだと思う。本当の母親でもここまで遠慮なく言ってくれないよね。ねえ優子。
はい。
ちょっとだけ真面目な話があるんだけど聞いてくれる？空を行く鳩たちにちらりと視線を向けてから、
Oh, it's so cute.
優子は名前の通りの優しい微笑みを見せてくれた。
Oh man. I massaged my shoulders as I headed up the stairwell. Too tired. I was practically dead. That teacher's ranting went on too long. Lunchtime was already more than halfway over. And I hadn't even eaten yet. Ah. A sudden shove nearly sent me flying down the stairs. The hell was that for? Kay, startled, was right there when I gathered myself. Hey, why so surprised? You're the one who shoved me. And what was up with that cry? It creeped me out.
だって急に振り向くから。
You didn't have to push me.
だって
My eyes shifted to her lips. They were thin and had a faint red hue. The color and shape were slightly different than Miyako's. Can you not communicate without violence? I looked away when I said that. I felt a little guilty standing in front of her as I remembered what happened.
ただの暴力じゃないわよ。体育会系は叩いたり叩かれたりした分だけ身についていることがあるんだから。
What do you mean, picked up? Wasn't that the kind of logic you'd expect from a soldier?
知らないわよ。でも体育会系ってそんなものよ。
As you are aware, I'm not a fellow athlete. I started up the stairwell again. Naturally, Kay followed me.
平野先輩、何してたの？
The career survey submission. I got lectured about it.
先輩はいつも怒られてばかりの人生ね。なんだか死ぬまで誰かに怒られ続けそう。
Don't jump to conclusions about my life. She let out a playful giggle as we jogged up the stairs.
ねえ先輩、進路希望なんて書いたの？
We stopped at the next floor. I just wrote that I wanted to go to university. I don't have the time to waste on this useless crap.
変にひねくれたこと書かなかったのは意外な感じだけど、先輩にしては上出来ね。
What are you, my guardian?
似たようなもんでしょ。
That malicious smile surfaced again. But then it disappeared. She beckoned me over. What's wrong? I brought my ear up to her mouth.
昨日の放課後呼び出されたのって進路のこと？
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, but there was nothing else.
そうならいいんだけど、宮村先輩も進路のことで？
Oh, she was worried about that. Miyako and Kei seemed to be incompatible with each other. Yeah, it seems she threw out her survey. Honestly, she's hopeless.
そんな声出さない
で。
そんな優しい声で宮村先輩のこと話さないで。
Ow. I had a question of my own. Why was Kei so concerned about her? She looked like this every time Miyako was brought up. Why?
ねえ、お兄ちゃん、一つ聞かせて。
Sure.
それだけ聞かせてくれれば、私も覚悟を決められるから。
Okay. Kei nodded and stared straight at me.
お兄ちゃんにとって私は何？
She was completely straightforward. Her powerful eyes wouldn't accept an ambiguous answer. I can't give a simple answer to that.
考えちゃダメ。
ん？
考えずに答えて。お兄ちゃんが思ってることをそのまま言って。
I couldn't even think about it? I was totally against this, but my answer was obvious. You are you. That seriously isn't something I could answer even if you gave me time.
答えてくれないの？
It's not like that, I just can't.
そうだな。少なくともここで言うようなことじゃないんじゃないかな。
Damn it, where did you come from?
なんだよ、邪魔すんな。
We yelled at Kyosuke almost simultaneously.
二人とも怖いな。
He was standing behind us.
Oh.
Kei caught herself and closed her mouth. Phew, Kyosuke might have saved me for now. What's up, Kyosuke?
それはこっちのセリフ。君たち、ここは天下の往来だよ。
Actually, it was a stairwell, not a highway. Taking a look around, I realized there were some students gawking at us.
愛を語るならそれにふさわしい場所でやった方がいいんじゃないの？なんなら俺のおすすめのスポットを紹介するけど。
That wasn't what we were discussing.
なんだ違うのか。
私、教室に戻るわ。
Kei shouted at us and sprinted up the stairs. There wasn't any time to stop her. What's with her?
つうか、今パンツ見えたな。
Wipe that from your memory! I poked him in the head.
いてって。
You're too blatant about everything.
見たままを素直に言っただけなのに。うん。
He knocked my hand aside lightly.
だいたいさ、お前の前だからなんだ？お前は進藤さんのなんだよ。
It was a little different, but still similar to what Kei had asked me. I couldn't escape no matter what, huh? It doesn't concern you. I'm getting lunch. He grabbed my shoulder as I tried to walk away.
往生際が悪いぞ、ヒロノ。
There's nothing to confess.
それはなんというか、いつまでも引っ張られると変換しなきゃいけなくなるから。
The hell are you on about? Was this bastard still taking bets?
で、どうなんだよ。
Oh, shut up already. I couldn't put up with him any longer. I shoved him off me and went up the stairs. What a mess. This was so screwed up. It felt like everyone around me was making a fuss about me just to piss me off. Maybe I was just paranoid though. I felt a dull pain in my right hand as I scratched my head. Looks like I've reached my limit. Rolling up my right sleeve revealed bandages on my arm. This is pathetic. My so-called tendinitis was flaring up. 1 year ago, I was plagued with arthritis when my serialization had just begun. A pain like I had severed my fingers would shoot through me if I so much as grabbed my pen. I worked through it, but now my arm itself was having problems. Why am I so weak? It's not that you're weak, man. That's like a tremendous amount of effort to put your hand and arm through. Like, My drawings had many lines, so it was no small burden on my hands. Resting was the best method to recover, but of course I couldn't do that. Arthritis without breaking your bones? I don't think you need to break your bones to get arthritis, but I'm no specialist, so I don't know. This arm covered in bandages was the result of forcing myself to complete my work. I wanted to put one on the back of my hand as well, but didn't want to draw any attention. Kay would worry too. I sighed. The phone again. I was a bit startled by the suddenness of my ringtone. Well, it would be weird if I could predict when it would ring. So you need to break your bone to get arthritis? I don't think so. I don't know. It's fun. It's a funny ringtone. The call was from home? Hello? I didn't really feel like it, but I answered it anyway. You do have arthritis. I'm sorry to hear that. It must not be fun.
もしもし、ヒロか？こら、無言で切ろうとするな。
Could she see through the phone or what? Why are you at home, sis? I thought my sister Nagi was studying abroad at an American art school. Did she get expelled for bad behavior?
なんでじゃないだろ？君、今どこにいるんだ？
School as usual? I could have made up something on the spot, but that was my answer. I mean, I do know that if it's broken, then it can make room for arthritis later on. But my question is that the only case in which you get arthritis? Is it a necessary condition for arthritis? Or is it you can get it just, you know, by old age? I only ever asked one doctor. I don't know that much. That's why I don't...
学校？そんなのいいから、とっとと帰ってこい。
It's a real named disease for once? What do you mean? As usual, like all other women, she spoke her mind. There's something you need to know. I'm in danger with my attendance. I can't just come home like that.
ヒーロー、君、全然こっちに戻ってないんだろ？
Oh, fingers crossed for you, Clinton. There's no point. My schedule caused me to work straight through the holidays, so I never went anywhere near home. I'll just suffer when I'm home.
まったく、君は意地っ張りなんだから。父さんもだけど、どうして男同士ってこうなんだ？はあ、
She sighed heavily on the other end of the line.
父さんは黙ってろって言ってたけど、やっぱり隠しておくようなことじゃないからいいよ。
Just get to the point already.
いいか？耳かっぽじってよーく聞け。
Fine. Lunchtime was already over.
父さん、入院してるんだよ。
It wouldn't be strange if it began to snow. It was so cold out that the wind stung my face. Naturally, I kept my head down. I never really liked winter. The reason was quite simple. Winter scenery was difficult to draw. I bet Dad would tell me not to blame my clumsiness on the weather. After grinning to myself, I looked up. Ah, you mean for him. For a hero, okay. I was a bit... My mind was in the context with Clinton, and I was like, wait, what? What you meant in the context of the visual novel. Makes sense. Yeah, who knows? Maybe by the time we're old, some advancements will be made that can improve the quality of your life. Just then, I saw someone's figure across the street. She was moving around erratically like a caged bear. The person pacing up and down the street was a familiar outfit, a familiar hairstyle, a familiar face. Miyako?
Gege.
What the hell was Gege exactly? Waiting to ambush someone? Weird hobby, don't you think?
趣味でやってるんじゃないよ。別に待ち伏せてたわけでもないし。
Either way, you must have a lot of free time.
いいんだよ。ちょっとくらいブラブラしたって。今日はちゃんと午後から授業も出たし。
Alright, go have fun. Thanks so much for dropping by. And enjoy your weekend too. See you next time. No, you didn't.
ヒロ君は厳しいね。
You're too relaxed. The situation was strange in the first place. Why was she acting like this? How could she act like nothing had happened? Did I dream about what happened on the roof? Was it just a dream I wanted to have? Or
ヒロ君、どうかした？
did she want to pretend it never happened? Miyako. I stepped forward, but she quickly moved back. Huh?
そうだ。私、用があるんだった。
Like what?
見た目お子ちゃまっぽいけど、実は豊島のお姉さんと料亭で会食の予定が。
Who would that be? While I'm at it, what are you trying to pull? She made an ambiguous sound and turned around. Then she ran off without looking back. So that's how it's gonna be. It was pretty rough to have two girls just up and run away. But Miyako and Kei were different. They both had different reasons for fleeing me. In Miyako's case, I had to go after her. Wait up. She was disappearing into the distance. She was unexpectedly swift. Definitely faster than Kei. Well, that didn't matter. I was a man after all, so I couldn't lose in a test of endurance. Oh my god.
なんで追いかけてくるの？
She responded in an unhappy voice. Because you're running away.
ヒロ君が追いかけなきゃ逃げないよ。
Cut it out already.
やだ。私を捕まえてどうする気？
I won't do anything, I swear. The situation was misleading at best.
ヒロ君しつこい。ストーカーの素質バッチリだよ。
Stop saying stuff like that, damn it. This reminded me of Christmas. Back then, Miyako chased her purse snatcher and I followed her. She was always going off somewhere alone, running off to her heart's content. I didn't want to see her like that. That was when I decided to be honest to myself. Miyako? I ran faster than my body was capable of. My heart felt like it was about to explode. She was getting a little closer. I desperately reached out for her. Miyako? The pain in my arm didn't matter. Reaching out to her was all that mattered. So I... Miyako. She stared back at me when I touched her wrist. But that wasn't all. When she turned around, something fell from her eyes. Miyako? They were definitely tears.
そんなに何度も呼ばなくてもいいよ。
Yes, I did. I was out of breath. It felt like you were about to disappear.
そんなことは。
She hesitated. However, she didn't try to break free. Why are you crying?
私にもわかんないよ、そんなの。
She was sniffling.
だって勝手に出ちゃうんだもん。
Did I make you cry? It was difficult to talk, but silence would have been worse.
そうだよ。泣くに決まってるじゃん。ヒロ君が私を捕まえたりするから。
Why would you chase after someone?
どう
Oh,
して
sorry.
私なんか追いかけたりするの？
Because she paused at the beginning and she didn't start saying her line. I thought it was something that I had to read. I don't really read the names anymore at the top, so to me it's like a blur and stuff. Yeah. Apologies, I'm tired. Then she started crying again. I still didn't quite understand, but the sight of her teary face made me feel something I had never felt before. What was this feeling? Oh my god, dude, you write shoujo manga and you're so clueless. Clutching my chest, I desperately tried to regain my breath. That's what I got for running so hard when I was sleep deprived, overworked, and out of shape. I wasn't fast to begin with either.
大丈夫？
Although she looked concerned, it was her fault. I was so tired. She had stopped crying and was back to normal. Do you get good grades in gym as well? I couldn't help that I was stammering.
うん、かなりいいよ。ちなみに1年の時のマラソン大会、全校で1位。
Now that she mentioned it, she didn't look worn out at all during Christmas. Despite my gender, it would have been difficult for me to keep up. What about the last one? The marathon was held annually in October.
サボった。いっぺん1位取っちゃったからもういいやって思って。
Should I say that's like you?
時にヒロ君はない？
It's better for you to not know.
うん。
She pouted a little, but quietly withdrew. Finally, I had caught my breath.
そういえば。
She was looking out at the ocean.
2人でここに来るのはクリスマス以来だね。
It's the middle of winter. Who'd come to the beach when it's so cold? We wouldn't even be here if she hadn't run away.
私たちにはお似合いだよ。
What do you mean by that? I wish she wouldn't treat me like I was as weird as she was.
ヒロ君さ、
Yeah?
どうしてこんな時間まで帰ってこなかったの？そろそろ締め切り近いんじゃなかったっけ？
Ah. I looked down at the sand. I could just make out the pebbles and shell fragments scattered in the white sand under the moonlight. At the hospital, they said Dad had a peptic ulcer, but apparently it wasn't life-threatening. However, his stubborn personality combined with his occupation was wearing his body down. I had a feeling I might have been looking at myself in the future. The day I lay in bed powerless like my dad could arrive sooner than I imagined. Well, thinking about it wouldn't help. Telling her wouldn't either. I sometimes go out whenever the deadline is close. I lightly kicked the sand.
現実逃避ってるね。
That's the life of a manga artist.
嫌な職業。
And you? She was staring blankly.
私は宮村都。音羽学園2年。頭も運動神経もいいし、よく
That's not
可
what
愛
he
い
asked,
可愛いって言われる。
Who told you to introduce yourself? I was asking you what you were doing out here.
アンブッシュ。
It was an ambush.
高い高い空の下。長い長い放課後の一瞬。私たちはキスをした。
What's that? That was a phrase I remembered hearing from somewhere.
うわ、バカだ。
I bet it's his own line or something. She pointed with her free hand.
自分が書いた作品のことも忘れちゃったの？
Oh, that was it. It was from a monologue of the girl in my first published work.
本当に忘れてたんだね。
I should have remembered it clearly. Why had I forgotten? Now that I recalled, our kiss was similar. It was similar to the situation I drew in the manga. Hey, wait, were you trying to... She softly shook her head.
たまたまだよ。なんであんなことしたんだろって考えてたら思いついたの。ヒロ君を一度リセットしてあげようって思ったのは本当。だけど、どうして私がそれをしなくちゃいけないのかなってずっと考えてた。
Guess it's not something a carefree person like yourself does.
任せて。
She giggled.
どうしても考えずにはいられなかった。だって私はね、自分が誰かとキスするなんて想像したこともなかったから。
Really? I thought living freely would give plenty of chances to think about stuff like that.
誰かを好きになることなんてないって思ってたんだね。私はずっと。
Why did she think like that? I wondered if I, the one holding her hand, should ask. Maybe not.
ヒロ君、お仕事きついんだよね。
Right. She loved changing topics. It's a battlefield, that's for sure.
今回の原稿上がるまで私が手伝ってあげる。
You know how to draw?
と言ってもご飯作ったりするくらいだけど、ちゃんと食べないと仕事もできないでしょ。
That's true, but
私は気まぐれだからずっとなんてできない。だから期間限定のお手伝い。それでもいいなら少しだけそばにいさせて。その間に答え出すから。
I see. I needed to look for an answer as well. No, I had to answer. My hand was holding hers. A man once told me this hand held the potential to bring whatever I wanted to life. He had nothing more to say and told me to do as I wished. I didn't know what the correct choice was at the time, but I understood why he said it. It wasn't long before I became independent. I left home and made him acknowledge my life as a manga artist. From that day on, I had to decide everything on my own. With my freedom came great responsibility.
お兄ちゃんにとって私は何？
I had to answer her question as well. And more than anything, I had to decide what Miyako meant to me. My field of vision shook as I collided with someone. Ouch. The world spun around, the floor and ceiling switching positions before my very eyes.
Hello!
What's that accent? You almost sent me into another country. I wasn't really in the mood for Kyosuke's comedy routine. He used my staggering body as a wall to lean on. That was a little dangerous just now.
おいおい、一人で何を遊んでるんだよ。
Did it look like I was killing time? Was he blind or something? And yet he still called himself my friend.
おお、ヒロノの中で呪詛がうごめいてるのがわかる。
What? I'm happy you understand. I somehow responded and kept walking. It was lunchtime. I ran into Kyosuke en route to the cafeteria, I guess.
肩でも貸してやろうか、特別価格で。
You'd charge me? I wouldn't have taken his help even if it had been free.
でもさ、ヒロノって毎月これくらいの時期に体調悪そうにしてるよな。休みも多いし。実は女の子であれな日なのか？結構重い方なのか？
What? You have a death wish, Kyosuke? I couldn't hang around with him if he was going to tell jokes like that. Maybe I should have ditched him.
待て待て、本当に大丈夫なのかよ。
He was still coming after me. It's nothing. School, work, and all the circus around me had taken its toll. However, thanks to Miyako, I was eating well these days, though it was seafood all the time. The burden on my body hadn't been lifted, but every little bit helped. I was really thankful. I couldn't tell her that because it would be too embarrassing. But because of her, I vowed not to drop dead.
ま、お前が言うんなら別にいいけどな。本当にヤバくなったら言えよ。
You'd actually help me?
いや、別に何も。
I thought so. My expectations were wasted on him.
何もしなくていいだろう。話聞くだけでもちょっと楽になるんじゃないか？
I'm not looking for sympathy. It was annoying how he tried to act like a good guy once in a while. I didn't need that from him. Ah. Miyako suddenly appeared behind me. Did you have to scare me every time? Do you have to scare me every time we meet?
無理？
Please spare me.
それよりヒロくん、飲み物を買ってきた？
I was on my way.
じゃあ、私は先に屋上行ってるから、早く来てね。
She held out two bento she had made.
最近飲み物だけ買ってどこに消えてるのかと思ったら、そういうことか。
Crap, I forgot Kyosuke was with me. No, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not exactly spending my whole lunch screwing around with her.
私と一緒にランチタイムとしゃれ込んでるじゃん。
What are you doing, Hiro? You be quiet.
私は喋ってないと死んじゃうよ。
この状況じゃ嘘のつきようもないだろう。諦めろヒロノ。
諦めろ。
Why were they teaming up?
っていうか、あなたは誰？
Miyako suddenly pointed at Kyosuke.
堤だよ、堤京介。1年の時に結構話したことあっただろう。
Oh right, he had tried to hit on her once before.
そうだったかな。1年の頃はちょくちょくいろんな人に話しかけられてたからね。
完全にエトセトラ扱いだよ。
That's exactly what you are. He looked like he was about to cry. Aww.
まあいいや。じゃあ私行くから。ヒロ君はまた後で。エトセトラの人もバイバイ。
エトセトラはやめろ。
She shrugged his comment off and sauntered away.
プライドがえぐられた。
I didn't know you had one.
お前ら嫌い。飯なんてどうでもよくなってきた。慰めてもらいに行こう。
I didn't get to deliver the who jab. Slumping his shoulders dejectedly, he disappeared somewhere. It'd be nice if he used this time to get his act together. Well, Kyosuke wasn't the only one who should turn over a new leaf. Miyako and I should as well. If we kept things the way they were, I was sure it would come back to bite us. Alright, they're on the roof. Give me a couple minutes, I'll do a quick bathroom run and I'll be right back. Back. Music is cute? Yes, it is. I very much am enjoying the soundtrack. And this one in particular is one of the cute ones. Oh god. Alright. Let's hang in there. Let's do half an hour more. And after that I'm gonna drop dead in bed. Well, I'll be going.
もう行くの？
She's Miyako grabbed my arm when I tried to stand up. Hey. Your chest. Don't press them up against me. Her breasts, which were heftier than expected from looking at her outfit, were leaning on my arm.
ならどこを押し付けてほしいの？
There's not much else.
問題ないじゃない。
I guess. Hey, yes it is. I have to get going already.
まだ早いじゃん。
There were still 10 minutes until lunchtime ended, but I shook my head. I have gym next. Mr. Otsuka will yell at me if I'm late.
なるほど。でもびっくりしちゃった。
She finally released me. It must have been in my nature as a male to be a little disappointed. Surprised? Why?
うん。もう私に飽きちゃったのかと思ったよ。
Hey, where did she get that idea? Besides, the way she said it, it was almost like we were a couple. Wait, we ate lunch here every day. After school, she'd come to my house and read a book, or distract me from my work. When it got late, she'd prepare dinner, and we'd eat it together. Then after dinner, she'd stick around until after dark. And even though it was only once, we also kissed. If we weren't a couple, what were we? Good question, right? Ah, I clutched my head and glared at the sky.
どうしたの？薬切れた？何か変なものとか見えるの？
Don't suggest that.
ジョークだってば。
I wished she'd cut the unfunny jokes.
本当にどうしたの？サボるの？
She put on a concerned face. No, I'm going. Alright, for now, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
いってらっしゃい。また後でね。
Yeah.
ヒロノ先輩。
Ah, Kay ran out in front of me.
先輩、最近はちゃんと授業は出てるんでしょうね。
You're talking about that again?
一番大事なことでしょ？
Well, you're making him late now, so maybe if you're worried about that, just let him go. She was peering at me closely. I scratched my head. I'd show up even without your bickering, but now I feel so sleepy and sluggish, like I'm about to die.
先輩もやればできるじゃない。最近あんまり顔合わせてなかったから気になってたんだけど。
When I thought about it, it had been a while since we talked like this. You didn't have to worry. And what about you? Club activities taking up all your time? She nodded with a wink.
最近ね、調子がいいの。
She grinned and made a shooting motion.
体が思い通りに動くのよ。パスもよく通るし、シュートも外さない。こんなに調子がいいのって初めてかも。今はバスケをやるのがめちゃくちゃ楽しい。楽しくてしょうがないの。
Never knew you had such an innocent side.
人を何だと思ってるの？先輩は。
I caught her lightly wound up punch with the palm of my hand. Of course, I used my left hand.
今度の日曜、
What about it?
練習試合があるの。相手は去年の県大会準優勝校。うちだって弱くはないけど、まず勝てる見込みなんてないと思う。口には出さないけど、部員のみんなはそう思ってるでしょうね。
And?
でも私は最初から諦めてるのは嫌。調子はいいし、チームもうまくいってるもの。ひょっとしたらひょっとするかもって思えるの。
She took a big step forward.
先輩にも見に来てほしいのよ。場所はここの体育館。試合開始は10時から。
On Sunday night, right? My current chapter would be done by then.
私勝つから。
There was a certain determination dwelling in her eyes.
絶対に勝ってみせるから。その時は私お兄ちゃんに大事なことを言うわ。
Something important?
今は言えないけど絶対に言うから。勝つから待ってて。お願い。
Wait for what?
うるさい。これ以上言わせんな。
She was certainly busy turning meek and then yelling. But she wanted me to wait. Huh. Perhaps she had always been waiting for me. I hadn't ever considered that.
ヒロくん
Miyako appeared with the worst possible timing yet again. She lightly skipped down the steps with a cheerful smile.
さっき言い忘れたんだけど、今日の晩ご飯は。
She stopped in her tracks mid-sentence.
あ、ケイちゃん。
どうも。
She didn't even try to conceal her crankiness.
ヒロノ先輩。
Kay shot me a pointed expression. Kay, you alright?
ヒロくん、体育なんでしょ？早く行った方がいいよ。
But would it be okay to leave the two of them together like this?
授業に行ってっていうかさっさと行け。
Did she even hear a word I said? Maybe it was best if I just followed the orders.
この鍵ね、ヒロくんがお姉さんにもらったんだって。進学祝いの代わりに。最近は私の方が先に屋上に来るから、こうして預かっている。
なぎお姉さんがやりそうなことですね。
そっか、ケイちゃんはお姉さんと会ったことがあるんだ。
最近は会ってないですけどね。なぎお姉さんも海外に行っちゃってますから。
ふーん。ガチャリと音を立てて鍵が外れる。私は屋上に通じる扉を開けた。途端に冷たい風が吹きつけてくる。やっぱり寒いな。
ならここじゃなくてもいいんじゃないですか？
他に誰も来ないからね。内緒話するにはいいんだよ。
ヒロノ先輩と？
ケイちゃんは風で乱れた髪を整えてる。内緒にしなくちゃいけないような話はしてないかな。
宮村先輩はそういう話したいんですか？
それも面白いかもね。と言いつつも、私とヒロくんの間で色気のある会話が交わされたことはない。ここ何日かは二人きりでいることが多いのに、だからこそ意図的に避けてるんだと思う。変なムードになっちゃったら何が起こるかわかんないもん。わからないから怖い。私も多分ヒロくんも。ケイちゃんは普段ヒロくんとどんな話してんの？
別に。先輩も私もバカですから、ろくな話はしていません。
喋りが硬いな。あのさ、私の方が一個上だけど敬語を使わなくていいよ。そういうの気にしないから。
宮村先輩、私はヒロの先輩とは子供の頃からの付き合いなんです。
無視された。
ヒロの先輩は昔から毎日お父さんに絵を教わってて、あまり外で遊べなかったんです。当然ですけど、ほとんど友達はいませんでした。
いきなり何が始まったんだろう。
でも時々家から抜け出してきては一人でうろうろしているヒロの先輩を私はなんだか見ていられなかったんです。どうして一人でいるんだろうって。あの頃の私には人が一人でいるってことが理解できませんでした。
ふとケイちゃんは一瞬だけ遠くを見るような目をした。何だったんだろう今のは。
寂しそうだったんです、先輩は。だから私はこの人を一人にしちゃいけないって思いました。
余計なお世話じゃないかな。
先輩はついてきましたよ。私の家に連れて行ったんですけど。
男の子をいきなり家に連れてったの？ケイちゃんってちびっこいくせに結構大胆なんだ。
子供の頃の話です。それに体の大きさは関係ないでしょ。
素早いツッコミ。前から思ってたけどケイちゃんなかなかやるね。
こうやって話をそらせるのが宮村先輩の手ですか？
そんな大層なものじゃないけどね。真面目な話にはなかなかついていけなくて。
そういうヘラヘラしたところが嫌なんだよ。
聞こえてるよ、ケイちゃん。それくらいの毒舌は気にしないけどね、私は。
私、昔から少女漫画好きだったから、家にはいっぱい漫画があったんです。
見かけによらず乙女チックな趣味だね。
放っておいてください。
そんなに怒鳴らなくてもいいのに。まあ自分でもあまり似合わないっていう自覚があるんだろうね。
ヒロの先輩が初めて触れた娯楽が少女漫画だったんですよ。先輩はすぐに夢中になって読み始めました。
ヒロ君がそっちに傾いた原因ってケイちゃんだったんだね。やっぱりなんだかんだ言ってもヒロ君は男の子だし、普通なら少年漫画とか青年漫画だもんね。
いくら好きになったからってまさか少女漫画描き始めて、しかもデビューまでするとは思ってませんでしたけどね。ええ、全然予想すらしてなかったんです。身近にいたからわからなかったのかもしれませんけど、ヒロの先輩の力は私が思ってたより全然すごくて。
なんか少年漫画の主人公みたいだね。やつの潜在能力は我らの予想をはるかに超えているみたいな。ギラリとケイちゃんがにらみつけてくる。せっかく可愛い顔してるんだから笑ってればいいのにな。
私は思うんですよ、宮村先輩。
はい。
頑張ってる人を見てすごいなって思うだけじゃダメだって。やっぱり努力してる人は何もしてない人を認めませんよ。少なくとも好きになるとは思えない。
なんだろう。何かが突き刺さったみたいな痛み。なんだろうこれは。
私はそういうものだと思うんです。
それがケイちゃんがバスケを始めた理由？
もともとバスケが好きだったんですよ。速攻かけて一人で敵をみんな振り切ってシュートを決めたりするとすっごい気持ちいいんですよ。
にゃ
バカにしてるんですか？
ー。違う。感心したあまりつい猫化を。
もういいです。でもこれだけは言わせてください。
迷いなんてかけられ
Tail
ない。
time.
まっすぐな瞳。
That came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it.
こんな目ができるなんてケイちゃんはどれほど強い気持ちを秘めてるんだろう。
私はお兄ちゃんが好きです。ずっと昔からこれからもずっといつまでも思い続けます。だってこれまでも一度だってお兄ちゃんへの気持ちが途切れたことなんてなかったもの。
それを私に言われても。
そうやってすっとぼけてればいいんだわ。私絶対にあなたには負けない。お兄ちゃんからあなたの存在を消してみせる。あなたなんて。
私がヒロ君の心から消える？また消えてしまう？
私はそこからお兄ちゃんと一緒に始めます。あなたとはそれでさよなら。それで終わりです。
Kay is savage. Oh my god.
終わらせるわ。
It's over! I put down my pen and threw out my arms. The chapter was finished. Completing it was pure torture, but it was all a build-up for this gratifying moment. Miyako? Miyako had been browsing an old sketchbook quietly, but now stared at me with a dumb look on her face. Did I surprise you that much? Well, suddenly yelling would startle anyone. Sorry, but I had to do that.
気にしてない。ちょっとびっくりしただけだから。お疲れ様。
Yeah, thanks. Hey, this is no time to relax. I snatched the chapter and presented it to Miyako.
何？これくれるの？
No, silly. Could you make sure all the pages are there and that there are no glaring errors? I can't even tell anymore. I had pulled all-nighters for the past 3 nights.
それはいいけど、原稿って人に見せちゃいけないんじゃなかったっけ？
This isn't just my own work. I have no problem showing it to my assistant. I kept my eyes off her as I replied. Why was I speaking so gently to her?
へえ。
What? Crap, I was blushing.
わかった。ちゃんとチェックさせてもらうね。ヒロ君は大急ぎで原稿を出しに行った。なんでも特別便を使えば出版社まで数時間で原稿を届けられるらしい。文明だね。それはともかく。はあ、ビビった。急に終わったとか言うんだもん。屋上でのケイちゃんの言葉はまだ耳に残っている。終わりにするって言ってた。いつ何が始まったのか私には分かんない。でも確かに何かが動き始めていて、私とヒロ君とケイちゃん3人がその渦中にいる。それはいわゆるあれなんだろうか。それこそ漫画でしか見ないような、割と現実にはあるのかもしんないけど、そんなものに自分が巻き込まれてるっていうのが信じられない。違うか。自分から飛び込んだんだよね。私はもう捕まっちゃったから。それは悲しいことだし、嬉しいことでもある。ヒロ君に手をつかまれたあの瞬間、私は確かに何かを手に入れて、何かを失ったんだと思う。複雑なんだよね。ベッドに横になる。ヒロ君の原稿すごかったな。私と同い年なのにあれだけのものが書けちゃうんだ。頑張ってるだけじゃなくてきっちり結果も残してる。ケイちゃんだってかわいそうに見えるくらい必死。それに比べて私はなんだ？毎日毎日フラフラしてるだけ。一度決めた生き方をずっと通してる。結局いつまでも変わってないんだ。変わることを拒絶してる。枕に顔をうずめてみると不思議。いつも机に突っ伏して寝てて、ろくにベッドは使ってないはずなのに、ヒロ君の匂いがする。なんてやってる場合じゃない。ヒロ君が戻ってくるまでにご飯作らなきゃ。約束は原稿上がるまでだったけど、これくらいの延長サービスはしてあげよう。その後のことは後になったら考えよう。よーし。この枕カバー結構汚れてるな。シーツもあまり洗ってないみたい。何か本当に通い妻みたいだから洗濯まではさすがにやってないけど、洗ってあげた方がいいかな。ふむ。枕カバーについていた髪の毛をつまんでみる。やっぱり部屋は清潔にしとかないと。 ヒロ君の場合、病気になったらシャレになんないもんね。あれ、この髪の毛、長さはともかく色がちょっとヒロ君のとは違うような。もちろん私のでもない。そうなると。
Ah, I'm full. I set down my chopsticks and patted my bulging stomach. Miyako had prepared enough seafood miso stew for 5 people. The last of it required much willpower on my part to consume.
それにしてもよく食べたね。
Only because you said you didn't want any leftovers.
冗談だったのに。
Why didn't you tell me that before I finished? Did she actually mess up the quantity?
ヒロ君がどこまでいけるか見てみたかった。
You wanted my stomach to explode for your own amusement.
悪くはないかな。
For a moment I thought about kicking her out as revenge, but...
さーてと、私はお片付けしよっと。
She got out of it. She set out some teacups.
お疲れ様でした。
Thanks. Civility wasn't one of my strengths. Even I didn't think it sounded very sincere.
まあ、でもあれだね。
It didn't seem like Miyako minded at all, like, as
なんで
expected.
こう、ギリギリになっちゃったのかな。
It's always like this. Not to brag, but I never left any leeway
と
whatsoever.
いうかさ、最初から早めに上がるようにやればいいんじゃないの？
Out of the question. It's the same as summer vacation homework. It's something you can't do unless you wait till the very last minute.
そ
That is so
そうなんだ。
unhealthy. I speak that as someone who unfortunately has left stuff for the very last minute. Not necessarily actually last minute, but like procrastinated in starting things and then got overwhelmed. And it's no good. It's better to just take it a little bit at a time, steadily, consistently over a longer period of time than cram things. It's just no. I also, in university, maybe I could do it a bit more and get away with it, but right now I just can't. Like, the tiredness gets the better of me and I just end up being destroyed. So it's not a good thing. People try to not take Hiro's example here. For sure. I was real harsh. I wouldn't let her object. It was quite a mystery. No matter how fast I worked, I always finished in the nick of time. It honestly stumped me.
でも、これでちょっとはのんびりできるのかな？
Yeah, you relax now and then you get late again. I can't do that.
そうなの？
I sighed. The next volume is a special edition, so a colored cover is required. I can't afford to mail it in.
お休みは？
Only people on the gravy train can take breaks. If someone like me took a break, there'd be no chance to move up. 100 other amateurs are ready to replace me if I slack off. The business of manga production wasn't something she should be worrying about.
厳しい世界なんだね。
Every job's like that, but maybe it'd be okay for me to relax tomorrow. My hands were killing me, so one day rest was a good idea. It would suck if I kept going and things became worse. Yes, you definitely need to give your hand a break.
ヒロ君、お茶のおかわりは？
Sure. It was too quiet. The sound of the pouring tea seemed louder than usual. I hadn't noticed when I was drawing, but this situation really was weird.
やっぱり冬は熱いお茶が一番だね。
Now you sound like an old woman.
そういうこと言う人にはお茶あげません。
She tried to pick up my teacup. However, I reached out at the same time. Ah. Our hands touched each other. I could feel her body heat. Oh, sorry.
こちらこそ。
This was almost like a development in a love comedy. Oh man. You're catching on. This wasn't my intention at all.
ヒロ君、
Was it? Whoops. That response was a bit strange. Miyako gulped down her tea, then took a short breath.
お風呂 借りてもいいかな。
What was she thinking? I knew very well that imagining was a waste of time, but it was on my mind nonetheless. I shouldn't read too much into this, it's probably just her. Her erratic behavior was nothing new. It's not like I didn't expect it. She said her help was for a limited time, but would it ever end? The dinners and such weren't that important. I just... Jesus, that surprised me. I answered my cell phone. Hello?
俺や
Oh, you.
いきなりやけど時間がない原稿は
I sent it in a little while ago.
そうかギリギリやな
He almost sounded relieved. Then again, I probably wasn't the only one. I was quite sure that the other artists had barely made it as well. With that in mind, I'd have been concerned if he were in a good mood.
ま間に合うたんやからええわお疲れさん
No, I'm sorry.
なんやどないしたんや何を素直に謝ってんねん
Shut up! Was that all?
ああそうやお前春休みになったら一回こっち出てこいや
Huh? Why? I don't remember him ever summoning me
たま
before.
には顔見とかなあかんわどうも不安でしゃあない
Were we some long distance couple? What was this old man yapping about?
ま息抜きやと思うとけ旅費くらいはこっちで出したるから
So it's okay to fall behind because of that?
あかん
If this weren't over the phone, I would have strangled him.
そういうことやから細かいこととかは原稿チェックした後でまた電話するわほしたらな
Yeah, understood. I ended the call. Hey, do I really seem that unreliable? He always contacted me for some reason. Or maybe he was just prone to worrying. Wait a second. I grabbed my phone again and checked the time. Miyako was still in the bathroom. Did women normally take baths this long? Someone like Yosuke might know if I asked, but that would never end well. Damn. Was she doing something suspicious in there? What do I mean by suspicious? I was about to say, like, what would be suspicious? I didn't really know. Should I go check on her? I wouldn't want her to think I was peeping. Find out what's happening. Don't worry, be happy. What a choice! Oh, what a choice. Yeah, we're gonna find out because this seems sketchy. Let's save it there. For now, I could just try calling to her. Worst case scenario, she would believe I was peeping, but wouldn't mind because she was Miyako. Miyako? No response. Hey, Miyako, you there? I knocked on the door. She really wasn't answering. I'm coming in, okay?
入ってきたら通報。
You're alive?
ヒロ君の分まで生きるって決めたもん。
What? I'm not dead. I knew I shouldn't have worried about her. Time to leave this idiot be.
ありがとう。
Huh? I stopped in my tracks. Peeping time. I mean, I would understand if, like, someone would be in the bathroom for that long and not make a sound or anything. You'd be like, are they okay? Did something happen? It makes sense for him to check.
私、寝ちゃってたから。
There you go. It's very bad to fall asleep in the bath. Like, don't do that. You could have drowned.
今から上がるけど、何か冷たいもの用意しておい
Yeah,
てく
she's
れるか
probably
な。
super overheated now from being in the hot water for too long. Yeah, exactly. She must have stayed in the bath too long. Be careful getting out.
はーい。
Alright, so she's fine.
風
Nothing
が気
happened.
持ちいい。
And that would be a good moment to leave it for tonight as well. Alrighty. There we are. We'll keep going with that next time, but for now I am absolutely distraught and depleted, and will proceed to go to sleep. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys being there. I enjoyed the conversation and progressing the novel together with you guys. I will keep doing that for the foreseeable future. I keep debating if I should start another game in parallel, but given how things are at work, it's much better for me at the moment to have the visual novel waiting for me at the end of the day, so I just know I don't have to stress about anything. I'm just gonna plop myself down at the desk and, you know, enjoy 2 hours and a little bit of just nice storytelling and peaceful and pleasant chats with you. So I think we're gonna keep going like this for a while, and maybe when things calm down at work I might consider having a second game in parallel. We'll see. But for now, things are gonna stay on track, and yes, next week schedule is gonna be back to normal. Streams are gonna be Tuesday and Thursday as per usual. But until then, I'm gonna wish you a really nice weekend. Hope you manage to relax and refresh yourselves for the next week that's waiting for us. Yeah, I hope things are more or less okay wherever you are in the world. You hang in there. Just keep doing your things little by little, day by day. And see you when I see you. Take care. Love you. Good night.